You didn't go tonight, Zion?
Nah, because I wanted to do the show.
You were a good luck charm. It's your fault.
Yeah, I know. I was a good luck charm. The good luck charm.
Oh God, ridiculous. I'm gonna get a beer, man. We need a beer for this. Jesus.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. Comments about to be booming. Oh man.
Shit, let me get a mug, bro. Come on.
Just bad.
Oh, I think you watched it. Nice. Oh hell
I didn't even check my my comments yet. First round exit. Man, this is the thing. I don't say things with emotion like on like Twitter, but like I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. Like that's always what it's been like. So like tonight, if I say something, just know it's not emotional. It's just me keeping it real. I'm gonna keep it real tonight. What's good, John? We all gotta keep it real tonight. Like there's no sugarcoating nothing. There's no other side, the other side of the pillow. Nah, we gotta keep it real tonight. We're just gonna keep it real tonight.
All right, hit the intro. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Man.
Nobody outside of Kentucky cares about that rivalry.
Exactly.
Who cares about
who wins 2015 or 2010, and everybody is saying 2015. So
just got back up here, Jeremy, a couple days ago. So been in the gym a little bit. Me and Joey been in the gym working out together.
As Duke fans, as Duke coaches, you know, but I get excited over there, even in my suit, I'm grabbing Coach Tyler's leg, like.
What's good? We're back. Duke, Twitter, or Crazy Twitter Live, whatever the show is called, whatever it is. The tick pick. If you want to go to the NCAA tournament, just use that code on the bottom. It says it right there, Duke Nation. Shout out to the Devil's Den. All right, man. Since we got that out the way, let's just talk about it, man. Duke gets smacked in the ACC Championship. I know my mention's probably going crazy. UNC fans probably saying whatever they want. But we got a lot of to talk about tonight. We got to keep it real. Like I said before the show, we're going to keep it real tonight. We just got to say what we got to say because now it's the tournament. Now it's the real deal. But yeah, Ryan, start us off, man.
Man, if you would have asked me 2 weeks ago when we did the last show, I was confident this team had what it takes to make a run in the tournament. And although I still would say never, this last week of basketball has got me very, very concerned. I wasn't that worried about a first weekend exit. And after, especially tonight, Virginia Tech, this was their fourth game in 4 days. They, especially after a couple emotional ones and a big one last night. And we came out and just looked flat, man. Like there's just been no emotion on this team in the past couple of weeks where I pointed out on Twitter that no one is, I mean, there's no emotion as far as jumping up and down after big shots. There's no fist bumping. There's no getting the crowd into it. And everybody we play against is showing that emotion and that intensity. And we don't have it. The inability to adjust from the coaching staff, in my opinion, has been absolutely killer, especially against Virginia Tech. There is no secret to what they try to do. They play small ball, and they're a really good three-point shooting team, and we just didn't do anything to counteract that. So my confidence level was at like an 8 or a 9 to make the Sweet 16, and now I'm at like a 5 or a 6, and am very concerned. Russ, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to point out a couple of things that I said in the past that people got mad at me for after that one Wake Forest game where even though I think we ended up winning, I think I tweeted at one point, I was like, I just don't know if the team has it. And people got real mad at me about that. And I was like, but like at this point in the year, we should have figured some things out, right? Like even by that game. And then now, after today, I mean, I haven't looked at the numbers for today. 5 of the 6 worst defensive performances of the season. were in the last 6 games. I mean, literally all 3 of the ACC tournament games were among our worst defensive performances of the year. UNC, worst defensive performance of the year. Now, the Syracuse game, we were blowing them out. So then we just let them shoot blindly. Okay, fine. I'll throw that one out. Throw the Syracuse game out entirely. That still doesn't change that the last 4 games were 4 of our worst defensive efforts of the entire season.
By far.
Right? By far. So I don't like. I have had so many people in my comments going like, "Oh, we need to lose in the ACC tournament. That'll wake us up."
No.
No,
Let
they needed that win.
That should have. Listen, that whole spiel should have been done after Carolina.
We lost to
Carolina.
We lost to a Miami team that's going to squeak into the tournament at home, right? We lost to a Virginia team that's going to miss the tournament at home, right? We got smacked down on Coach K's final game at home. And now we're getting smacked down here, and we've been loafing on a bunch of these games. So, like, what wake-up call do we think is coming? You know what I mean? Like, and the last thing I'll say, and this is maybe I tweeted something out similar to this. If the jerseys did not have names of teams on them, right? And we were just and it was just colors and no teams. Which team do you think was the team that was coached by a Hall of Famer tonight?
Yeah,
you want to go there? He wants to go there.
I do want to go.
How can you disagree with that?
I agree. I'm not saying. I'm not saying. I disagree.
And you know what? And everybody's allowed a mulligan, right? Like the goats have games where sometimes the other guy gets on them, right? Like that's a given. But like Miami got on us too, and UNC with Hubert Davis, who UNC fans were throwing into the bushes, kind of got on us too. You know what I mean? So, like, and then Syracuse, Jim Boeheim, who never does anything different, threw us a little curveball. He kind of got on us too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So at what point am I supposed to blame? Like, so many people in my mentions are like, "Oh, the players are soft." Like, we've already seen some people. "Oh, the players are leaving for the NBA. The players are soft. The players are whatever." Bro, like, what are they supposed to do? When the definition of insanity is you keep repeating the same thing that's not working over and over and over again. And like the players on the other team are running the same sets. They're not running complicated shit.
No.
You know what I mean? But nothing they're doing is that complicated.
How many times did we see Mark Williams out at the top of the key on
it's the same
6-foot white guy?
Dude. They did it. They did the same thing. Right, I loved that the Miami game ended with us running the same set like 20 plays in a row, and we ended up winning. Because I've been seeing teams do that to us now for a few games now, where they'll just run the same set. Like I don't know whether that's a personnel thing. I don't know the reasoning behind it. I'm not going to pretend to get into the psychology of it. But if the jersey names were not, if the team name was not on the jersey, you would think that one coach was the Hall of Fame coach tonight, and it's the coach that won the ACC Championship. So,
all right,
like,
Dom was here.
All right, Dom, I put you in a bad spot just now by saying all that shit. My bad, man. That was not.
You ain't put me in a bad.
All right, all right, good.
Listen, we faced our kryptonite. Period. That's our kryptonite. Those teams.
What, big games?
Those kind of teams, like
what
down
kind of
screen,
teams?
like down screen coming off the screens. Because I'm telling y'all this right now, we don't hedge on screens at all. We literally don't hedge on screens. We don't help or anything. We try to curl it. Mark just stands there. He literally just stands there. Literally, it's nothing we can do. It's nothing. But listen, we got our ass whooped tonight. Period. Point blank. They were a better team.
There's nothing we can do. Like
no,
you and
nothing,
me.
Yeah, nothing we can do. They got to do it. But we got our ass whooped tonight. That's crazy. I've never seen it. Like, I'm like, what are we doing? How do we let Hunter? What's his? I don't even know how this.
No, this guy looks like an IT guy, and he's dropping 35 on us. You know what I mean?
How many points did he have?
He had 31.
At least
31 points, bro. This man had what, 6,
like
2, and 9. The 3 games before.
Thought to make him put it on the ground, like literally, like nothing.
He was putting it on the ground, Dom. He drove multiple times, and he got clear paths to the basket. We got 5 draft picks on our team, dude. And this guy looks like he looks at Hertz Rent-A-Car dropping 31 on us, dude.
He's going to play in the damn Istanbul league.
Yeah.
Istanbul don't want him, dude. He's gonna be playing at the Y. And he's 31, dude.
I really can't
Damn, it's
I
ridiculous.
really can't believe we couldn't do anything with them. No, like they're our kryptonite.
Just change.
Just because it's Zion. It's Zion's fault. It's Zion's fault.
Yeah, all right, Zion.
Well,
Let's hear it, man. Let it
I
out.
told him before you joined, Dom. I was like,
No, Dom, you know what's crazy? Dom said that last night too. He was like, or today, he was like, "Oh, you're not going to the game? That's bad luck.
That's bad
luck. That's
You
bad
can't change. You gotta keep going to what's
That's
true.
true.
man.
I agree with that. I agree
Oh
with
God.
You know who should have changed? Coach K should have changed the
Thank
lineup
you.
tonight. Like, what were we doing? Like, what were we doing throwing Mark out? You gotta just. I know Mark is Defensive Player of the Year, although Virginia Tech was using Mark to their advantage on defense. They, every time they were attacking Mark, they were attacking Mark, and when Mark got switched on to the guards, it was hell for us. Listen, Coach K did not adjust. Like I said, tonight we're just gonna be real.
Yeah,
we're just gonna be real.
Yeah.
Coach K didn't adjust. Coach K got smoked.
Coach K hasn't adjusted for 4 years, man. I don't know what to tell anybody. Nothing's gonna change.
That's a small number, Ryan.
We still running the same plays as Zion Williamson. Trust me.
Exactly. We can go back further than 4 years.
Like, I don't get it. Like, and then the small lineup, I think it was too late when we actually just kept stuck to it. I thought it was the best lineup of the night, but you gotta stick with it. You gotta stick with it. And you put
why
Mike
did we
up
pressure
there,
the guards? Like, why did we just let them walk the ball up? They literally just walked the. Like, I hate that.
We started running a full court press like with 3 minutes left in the game. It's like, dude, at that point, it just feels like desperation. Like, you've gotta. There's got to be moves made. Like, and so many people were mad at me. I think Zion. I think you saw it this morning. So many people were mad at me on Twitter for saying, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't play Mark for like 40 minutes." Everyone was like, "Oh, you've got to make them adjust to you." It's like, it's not always that easy. Like, there's a personnel issues that something, and plus, our small ball lineup has been effective this season. It has. Like, it's not been a very good defensive lineup. It's been an elite. It's been our best offensive lineup by the numbers. So, like, why would you not run that out more right away? Try it more. Or if you're going to have Mark on the floor, you got to feed him. You got to feed him every time. You got to get the ball in the paint to him as much as you can. Because if you're not feeding him, if you just have him on the floor, then why are we playing him? You know what I mean? Like, why are we having him drift out away from the rim on defense, and then we're not getting him the ball on offense? What's the advantage of having him on the floor at that point? Like, I'm not the greatest coach of all time, admittedly, but I, as a layman, don't understand the perspective, and I would love to know. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, but the other thing I want to allude to is the play of Mr. Trevor Keels in the past. He had a couple good games when he came back from injury, man, but it's not even just like tonight. He didn't even shoot a ton. He shot 7 times, went 1 for 7. Obviously not great, but the decision making, the very poor defense that he showed, just not good, man. I don't know what's missing there, but the decision making offense, he's turning over. Yeah, and then Jay Billis and Dan Schumann like screamed that it was Couture who tipped the ball. I'm like, it hit the rim. I don't know where they saw that it hit his hand at all. He jacked it off the rim. There's so many times that this team tonight and in other games should have been able to pull away and run away with these games, and they never did. I tweeted it out at the end of this game that these next 4 minutes, the last 4 minutes of the game, down 10, was going to kind of prove to us who these guys are. If they could at least try to make a comeback and make it interesting, and man, they threw the towel in and didn't do anything. And I don't know, Dom and Zion, I'm not saying you were around the team at all, but like, is there a vibe around this team that like, are they just exhausted? Are they overwhelmed with the K retirement too? Or is it, there's just nothing out there that makes me excited as a fan, man.
Those can't be excuses at this point. It's March.
I'm not saying they are, but I just want to know what's going on.
I'm not even saying you are, but like, even if that was the case,
yeah,
it's March. What more motivation do you need? What more motivation do you need at this point of the season? Like, this is it. Yeah. You have no more basketball left. Like
Yeah, I
this
mean,
is it.
to Ryan's point, though, Zion, like sometimes the stage does get too big. Like I'm not saying that that's the case, but like if to Ryan's point, if the K thing, the last K year thing has been so inflated, I mean, maybe there is a degree to which the stage combined with the complete lack of adjustment. I mean, like that's a hard thing. Like if the coaches are just saying, "Hey, keep going out and try harder," and not trying different things, I don't blame a player for being like, "Well, what the hell am I supposed to do?" Like,
I got one other question for the you guys are more. I mean, I know basketball, but not to your guys' level as far as the X's and O's goes. What are we doing on offense night in and night out, man? Like I can even tell you that it's just 5 guys standing around, 1 guy dribbles and kicks and drives and kicks. Like there is no strategy, it seems like, from the offensive side, and I know that, and I'm not even like a huge X's and O's guy. So like, where is our offense? What is our game plan? I tried getting it out of Andre Dawkins a couple weeks ago, and I'm not saying he did anything wrong. He just didn't have much to say about what we run. We don't run anything.
well,
That's the thing with Dom. That's the thing that Dom told you. We don't have a significant amount of plays. We don't have like a set system. Like these guys are running off of simple sets, and he's been doing that for years because we're bringing in freshmen, the different lineup every single year. Like,
but there's no that you make the
year.
you make the defense not have to game plan at all. Then like that's where I don't understand. Like if you don't change things up night in and night out, and you keep running simple stuff for a coach like Mike Young, we made him look like the ACC coach of the national coach of the year.
But Ryan, honestly, that's the furthest thing from our problem. Like
we scored 67 points against Virginia Tech.
You know what? I hear you, but in the month of March, I just want to tell you right now, in the month of March, our offensive efficiency in the country, just the month of March, is 5th in the nation. 5th in the nation.
I'll give you that, but you couldn't convince me that the last 3 games.
Our defense, but that includes the last 3 games. Our defensive efficiency in the month of March is 197th in the nation.
No, we can't stop nobody.
Not our problem right now. Defense is our problem.
No, I've had that's been a question I've had all year because it just seems like it's always dribble, drive, kick type offense. It gets annoying, especially in games when we can't come back and we're down and people start making bad decisions. That's all. It wasn't.
No, Ryan. Listen, Ryan. It's been the same offense for seriously. It's been the same offense since Tatum. Like I'm being dead serious. It's been the same
since before
offense.
that.
It hasn't changed. There's nothing that's changing. We're down. We're doing the regular stuff. It's just we're not defending. That's it. It ain't nothing else. We're not playing the defense that we were playing at the beginning before the break, and that's the problem. But this is my slight trust in the whole system. We literally went through 24 games? We say 24 games in the ACC? 23?
Yeah.
We played 23 games in the ACC. No, seriously. We played 23 games. We haven't seen anything else. Like, we haven't.
I'll give you that.
Like after a while, you play the same things. Everybody has every play on you, everything to do. I'm just ready to move on to a new season where we see different teams. Now, this would be a good second round matchup team. Like, you know how we play in the second round? Like, this one of them. Our kryptonite is guards that are small and they can shoot. If we get up against anything like that, that is because we don't run them off the 3-point line. We don't make them curl to get to the basket. We'd rather give up 3s than 2s. I'd rather give up 2s. And in this stage, they were shooting 3s and making them. We were getting 2s. We couldn't win that. There was no way.
You know what's funny, Dom, is Ryan, before I kick it to you, we, until the last 5 or 6 games, were one of the best teams in the country in running teams off the 3-point line.
Exactly.
Including the Virginia Tech game before. They only shot 19 attempts. In the game before, they shot like 42 attempts from 2. We have been one of the elite teams until the last 2.5 to 3 weeks at running teams off the 3-point line.
But at that time, Virginia Tech was playing horrible, and they have an identity now. They got
I
their
grant
identity.
that. I grant that. I'm just saying that, like, until 2.5 weeks ago,
No,
every
yeah.
single team we would run them off the line because it's generally been coach's MO for the last decade plus. And I don't know why we're not doing it at all the last 2.5 weeks, but we are definitely not at all doing it now.
Dom, you said something. You said Virginia Tech has an identity. That's what I was thinking right now. Does Duke have an identity? Like, what is our identity right now?
No, we
Badly
do.
coached talent.
No, we have an identity. We
But this
have
is
an
the thing.
identity.
Our identity for the first third of the season or half of the season was defense. We were a defensive team, and even though when our offense wasn't going to come to play, we were going to set you down. That's gone. That is gone. That's out the door. We played 4 or 5 games, and it's been non-existent. So what is our identity? Like, it's not. We're not an offensive team.
We don't have one. Like, we for a little bit we got hot from behind the 3-point line in a couple stretches of games, but like you can never say we're a 3-point shooting team. You can't say we're inside the paint team. We're not a defensive team anymore. We're a talented. We have 5 individuals who are very talented. I feel like that's our identity, and we haven't been able to get them to play as a cohesive unit at all for long stretches at a time. But you're right. There's no identity.
Even that,
we just got out. We got our hustle today. We did. Like they were big. They beat us to 50-50 balls and everything.
Yeah, but
we got out hustled yesterday, and we got out hustled the day before that, and we got out hustled against UNC.
yeah,
and we got out hustled.
It's been a reoccurring thing. But even to that, do we know the identities? Do like players know their roles? Like, I don't know who the point guard is of this team.
Mm-mm.
I can't tell you. Like,
I thought about that tonight. Keels is bringing the ball up, and I'm like, wait, has he been bringing the ball up the last 3 games? I don't know who's
a lot.
Yes.
I think it's Jeremy. Jeremy has shown that of late that he's probably the best option. When Dell takes over that role, we don't have defined roles. Like,
honestly, Zion, I think that our roles on offense matter so much less than like defending even the slightest amount. Like I agree it would help. But if we are still a sub 150th in the country defense, we're losing first weekend. I mean, like, unless we defend better, which we can definitely do, and I hope that we do. If we don't, we're losing first weekend. It just is what it is.
That's the one point I want to make, though, is that I think with the teams that we would see second round, and we'll go into this more tomorrow when we actually get the bracket out. We'll talk about it, but Virginia Tech over the last 14 games, they've mentioned it multiple times in the broadcast, is probably a top 15 team in the country as far as record goes. There's not many teams that have a 12-2, now 13-2 record over the last 15. They're a decent team. Obviously, the competition isn't the ACC that it normally is, but they've been playing well. They've been rolling. So I do think that second round matchup will be a little bit less talented, more like a Miami or not Syracuse, but the middle of the pack ACC than it would be like a Virginia Tech right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're a top 16 team over the last month. We're a top 10 team over the last month. Like, there's still no excuse for us.
No, that's no excuse. I'm just saying, like,
you're right. You're right that they're better than a bubble team over just the last month. I agree with that.
I am not worried about what the second round is right now.
That's exactly what I was going to say, bro.
If we play a Colgate, like me come from a Patriot League school, I've watched a lot of teams like Colgate and the smaller schools. Those teams are going to give us the same hell that Miami, Syracuse, and Virginia Tech all gave us. I'm worried about the first town.
Dude. Princeton, that offense that they run, you think our defense is going to figure out how to defend the Princeton offense? Forget about it, man. Like, we've got to play defense. If we don't play defense, we're out. I'm not that concerned about the offense, frankly, because we're just so big and we're so talented.
Yeah.
Like we'll score 65 to 70 points a game standing on our heads. I'm not that concerned about that. I am very concerned that we'll just let a team waltz in and score 75 plus. That's the issue.
You're not wrong, man. And anybody can do it against this team the last month. Like, that's the issue is, man, like, we could be bigger, we could be stronger, we could be more talented and faster. But if we just don't play defense and you're lazy on that end of the ball, that's how first round upsets happen. right? Like
it won't take a CJ McCollum either. I'll tell you that.
no.
No,
Like,
no,
it
no,
won't-
The
it won't take
dude
Smith
tonight,
like
he averaged 9
Listen.
points, bro.
listen.
Yeah,
Come
listen,
on.
we just let a guy that
listen.
served me at the
We're
Cheesecake
not-
Factory the other night score 31
We're
points.
not losing a first round matchup.
I don't think we are
Trust me.
either.
We're not
but
doing that in Greenville, South Carolina. We're not doing that.
I don't think we
we're
are
not.
either.
I don't-
But it's always a
We haven't-
possibility.
listen,
Your
We
confidence,
haven't
but if we
played
don't
anybody
defend the
else since
ball,
December. We haven't played anybody else since December. When we play against those teams, we beat them. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about if we get like a Michigan State on our line and we got to play them in the second round. Or if we get somebody like that, those are games that I'm worried about. I'm not worried about, or if we get like a Davidson. Those
But
are
Dom,
teams
like,
that
that's the thing.
Zion's making the same face as me, dude.
That's the thing. I can't say that anymore because that's not the same team. Like the team that we saw against Gonzaga.
if you
all
think
these
we're gonna lose to
teams,
Colgate or some shit like that, come on.
I don't think we should lose, but I am very worried about it happening. Like
I'm
you
worried
have
about
you have a reason to be concerned.
This is the real season now. One game at a time. This is the real season.
Nah, this was
is
the real
it,
season
now.
this week
This is
too.
it.
This was red. This was
This
real.
was the real season this
No,
week
no,
too.
no, no, no.
because the
I'm not
tournament-
saying. No. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that this wasn't a real season. I'm not saying that. I would love to win the ACC championship, but what I'm saying is, if we lose the ACC championship, we still got another. No. We don't win next Thursday or Friday. It's over. It's done.
Yeah.
It's over.
I just don't know that the difference between playing Virginia in Cameron Indoor versus playing Colgate on a neutral court is like that big a difference, frankly. Like I just don't think it's that big a difference. If we can lose to Virginia, an objectively bad Virginia team in Cameron Indoor Stadium, we can lose to a Colgate in Greenville, South Carolina, if we don't play defense. If we don't play defense, we can play defense. We can win the title if we play defense.
I want to know what Don was saying back when Mercer and Lehigh came to town too. I mean,
we have top 5 in the nation potential if we actually defend. And I don't think a soul in the world would dispute that. But like if we don't play defense, then all of that you can chuck it in the dumpster, dude. You can just chuck it because it won't matter. Like we've got to play defense. That's the only thing that matters is defense. Yeah, and Jalen says, "Can we acknowledge you hit everything?" Yeah, I know. The guy who is the management for my landlord scored 31 points on efficient shooting tonight. I granted, maybe we should have won. That doesn't mean that we couldn't have played defense.
Coach K's quote was, "He was Klay Thompson-like tonight." That's so embarrassing,
with
man.
Klay Thompson because you kept Mark Williams on the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know why he looks like a Splash Brother? Because he's the lifeguard at the pool in my neighborhood. You know what I mean? He scored 31. Ridiculous, dude. God damn it.
Man.
So
Man.
insane.
Cooking him.
I guess I didn't even adjust it.
He beat the shit out of us. He gets all the
No, he
credit
did.
in the world.
Yeah, he did.
He just looks like a guy that I play against Saturday mornings at the neighborhood Y. Like,
Yes, David, Colgate could beat us. Yes, I truly believe that. I've watched them.
Colgate,
They actually have
dude.
they actually have more tournament experience than all.
Colgate's
our whole
more
team.
of like a 13, 14, or probably like a 14 though,
Our whole
right?
team.
Zion
The
is,
whole
by the way,
starting
Zion, that can't be overstated. Our experience in the tournament comes down to Joey Baker, who scored like 3 points against North Dakota State his freshman year, and then Theo John played like 1 game at Marquette. We have no.
Base Jones, I think
experience
Base Jones has a
in
couple minutes.
Does
I
he
mean,
really? That's interesting.
And
I didn't
those
know
guys
that.
will likely not get much minutes.
And they won't
in
get
the
much playing
tournament
time. We have zero tournament experience. Like
listen.
Derek, I'm glad you're enjoying this. I'm not enjoying it. I wish I wasn't doing this, Derek. But like at the same time, John is saying Colgate can't beat us. Another overreaction. God damn, dude. This is the same people who said we can't lose to Lehigh, that we can't lose to Mercer, that we can't lose at home to Stephen F. Austin. Wake up, dude! Wake up! If we don't play defense, we lose. That's it.
Man.
If Kentucky doesn't play defense, if Kansas doesn't play defense, if Gonzaga doesn't play defense, if Arizona, if they don't play defense, they lose. If we don't play defense, we lose. It's not a rocket science thing, dude.
Yeah.
God damn, dude.
Yeah, I don't.
Sorry. I'm taking too much of the floor.
But I don't think tonight was about who's the point guard. I think it's about truly who plays defense.
Yeah.
Who plays defense?
100%.
Like I don't care about. Listen, at this point, I don't care who the point guard is because the point guard doesn't. The committee. You know what I'm saying? It's by committee. Everybody's playing it. Like nobody really has just true point guards out here. Like I watched Tennessee today. They have 2 point guards. Like
Kentucky has a true point guard. Kentucky has a true point guard.
Who?
Yeah, they have 2. Kentucky, Severe and
Ty.
Ty is.
So it's by committee.
Nah, I think they just
at the
have
end of
2.
the day, it's by committee. I mean, all I'm saying is we gotta play defense. If we can lock someone down, we gotta play defense. That's it. I'm telling you, our kryptonite is anybody that has guards that come off of screens and can shoot it. Period.
Our kryptonite is
Wait, hold on. I don't mean to stop you,
don't
Russ.
shoot.
I don't mean to stop you. But someone just said, I don't know why Zion be on this everything is okay BS. What are you on Twitter?
Yeah, no, Zion's not on that. Everything is okay.
What are you talking about? I'm literally,
definitely is not that.
What? Come on, bro. Me? Come on, bro. I know there's a problem right now. There is a big issue, and I just said Colgate could beat us.
Yeah.
If we play top 40 defense, I'm not even asking for the best defense in the country. If we play top 40 defense, we're in the Final Four. We'll make the Final Four. Like if we can play top 40 defense, we make the Final Four, and we played top 40 defense for most of the season, so we could do that.
But the issue now is there's so much tape out there on how to beat this team and how easy it can be to beat this team that's what scares me is that you can just go to the UNC game, you can go to the Virginia Tech, you can even go to Miami and Syracuse and say, just rag on their go right at them, punch them in the mouth. They're not going to punch back. When has Duke punched back since November? They haven't. They don't punch back.
Larinaga did such a great job in the Miami game. Like I know they ended up losing, but like look at everything they did. They ran ball screens. They ran backdoor cuts. We're terrible at defending off ball cuts. We just are. Every time Mark was on the floor, they'd try to drag Mark out to the perimeter. That was great. Every time Jeremy Roach was on the floor, they would try to have somebody post him up, and then they would just go with that. I mean, it was wild watching a game where every possession that a team has the ball, they were like, let's run something advantageous. Let's adapt to who's on the floor and run something. It was wild to watch. Like I thought they deserved to win. They didn't win. We ended up just playing that good of offense down the stretch. We just couldn't not score. But like at the end of the day, there's a lot of tape out there. There's so much tape out there, Ryan.
It's nuts, man. It's nuts. Go ahead.
Your boy's point is great here, by the way. That's a great point. Great point.
Yeah.
Purdue's dealing with the same shit right now, you boy.
Yeah, I don't think it does, but I think we're hovering now probably around that 8th overall spot. I don't think we move to the 3 line, right? Like I don't see it because every other, I just don't see it, right? We're not getting a 3 seed, right? We were closer to a 1 than I think we probably were a 3.
Yeah, I think
we're not closer to a 1 than a 3.
Before the game, we were closer to a 1 than a 3. I'd say.
I'm not convinced that that's true.
I think we had to win this game to secure maybe the top 2, a chance at the top 2.
I think we would.
I think we could have done that, maybe. Sure.
Yeah, but I think we're pretty much a lock at one of the lower tier 2 seeds, right?
I think it's dependent.
Yeah, I mean,
Tennessee wins that becomes dangerous.
They ain't jumping us. They're not jumping us.
They could 100% jump us.
10 times better conference.
I think Nova would jump us before Tennessee does.
I think either of them could jump us. I mean, dude, Tennessee has twice as many quad 1 wins as us. They don't have a quad 2 loss. They don't have a quad 3 loss. They have a harder strength of schedule than us. I mean, like that's on paper. If you weren't looking at the names on the jerseys and you saw 5 quad 1 wins, 2 quad 2 losses, 1 quad 3 loss, and then a different team with a harder strength of schedule with 10 quad 1 wins, 0 quad 2 losses, 0 quad 3 losses, you'd give the edge to Tennessee. You just would.
Yeah, I'm just going purely based off of like a multiple bracketologists who I would trust that have had us either at the top 1 or 2 seeds going into tonight, and now it's probably I'd say we're number 8.
I'd say right now we're there. I think if Tennessee wins tomorrow, we're in trouble. I think if Tennessee wins, we are in trouble. If Villanova also, or was tonight the championship?
Yeah, they won it. Yep.
Yeah, so
Villanova
they won.
Yeah, we're in
Yeah,
trouble.
I
We're
mean,
in trouble.
Villanova also has twice as many, not twice as many. They do have two more quad 1 wins than us. They have one quad 2 loss. They have fewer quad 2 losses. They have no quad 3 losses. They have a tougher strength of schedule than us. They have one of the toughest strength of schedule in the nation. I think that there's a world in which we get extremely fucked because of our bad ACC this year. I mean, like, I've been warning. Shout out to my buddy Nate. I think he's watching. I told him I was like, dude, I'm ranting tonight. Get on here, watch this. Because he's always in my. He's the dude. Everybody's got one dude who's texting them like some rant shit. Like Nate is my dude. So shout out to Nate. I've been telling Nate for a while now. The door is open for us to dip in a big way. And
I think this team,
I think us dipping to a 3 is exceedingly possible.
Detrimental. I could losing to a 15. It could happen. Losing to a 14 is woof. I don't want to.
15 lost to a 14, then to a 15 over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Someone said Lenardi said the 2s are locked.
That's what I thought too. But Lenardi's like bottom tier.
He is a bottom tier.
Lenardi is trash. He is trash. But
yeah, he's like a step above Jerry Palm.
We could very much be looking at Duke in a 3-14 matchup to start, and the 14 is always the trickiest. I feel like mid-major because that could be a Colgate.
Well, it's not tricky. It's not trickier than the 12 or 13, but it is way trickier than the 15. Yeah, I agree.
Of the bottom tier mid majors, I feel like with the 14, 15, 16s, obviously like the 14, that's when the like mid majors are like 20-win teams, and teams that have like solid wins over the season.
They're not. It's teams that aren't scared. It's teams that shoot. It's teams that are very well coached. I mean, every time Murray State's going to be way above our pay grade. We don't have any chance of playing a Murray State.
No, not right away, at least.
Probably even in the first round. I bet they're going to be, or even in the second round, because like they're going to be in the 7 through 10 range. I would bet. Mm-hmm. And again, if you made me bet money today, I think we'd get the top 3 seed. Like
so if you had to put money on it today, right now, you're saying we're the top 3 seed
right today. I'm not especially optimistic. I mean, Tennessee got a huge win today. The chances of them jumping over us are not 0. I mean, they're way better than 0. Like we have 5 quad 1 wins. We have a quad 3 loss, and our 2 quad 2 losses are bad. They are like lower end quad 2 losses. Like our worst 3 losses are worse than like probably anybody on like the 4 line.
What loss is this?
The Virginia loss at home.
What was it? What loss is Virginia Tech? Quad 2? Quad 3?
No, today. No, it's today's honestly probably quad 1.
Okay.
Because Virginia Tech is analytically a really like a good team, a solid team. Yeah, today was a quad 1 loss. The loss to UNC at home by 13 was a quad 2 loss. Losing Virginia at home, quad 3 loss. Miami at home, quad 2 loss. Florida State on the road is going to be a quad 2 loss. Yeah, I mean, it's just we got too many bad losses and not enough good wins. I mean, our best 2 wins, the only reason they put us on the 2 line is because our best 2 wins are 2 of the best 10 wins in the country.
Yeah, I think we have the best. We might have the best 2 wins in the country. Kentucky.
I don't know that I don't know that I'd go there.
I'll give us a mulligan tonight. I'll say we'll have the best. We have the best 2 just off the eye test. Don't worry about the analytics. But but
I mean, Alabama beat Gonzaga
they did
more than we did.
They did. But I mean, Gonzaga is going to be the consensus number 1 team going into the tournament, number 1 seed going into the tournament.
I'd be surprised if they're not. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, someone made a good. What are your realistic expectations for the tournament? Realistic, not the we could lose first round. What do you think is going to happen in the NCAA tournament?
Who's got some dice? Who's got some dice?
Yeah, for real.
Anybody got some dice? I don't know. I don't know. It lose the weekend or win the title. Like it's one of those two things.
Yeah, and like I want to like meet in the middle and be like, I think, yeah, like part of me like wants to meet in the middle and be like, all right, we're a second weekend team and that's it. But like part of me is like, well, if we start playing defense, we can make it to the Final Four. But if we don't, we're out against the 15-14 seed. And back to the seeding thing, the more I'm looking at the guys that I trust, like bracket guy Dave, bracketologist, Wade bracket, it's seeming like Tennessee and Villanova have a better shot at a 2 seed than we do. Now I'm getting real nervous.
Yeah. I mean, they just have more wins and fewer bad losses. I mean, they just do. So it's really hard to get around that. Like, I don't know whether I think like we could just lose in embarrassing fashion, or we could go all the way. If we go to a second weekend, we are more talented. We are more talented than any team we'll face in the second weekend. I mean, probably more talented than any team in the country in terms of talent.
We are arguably the most talented team in the country.
I'm starting to question that. Like, I'm starting to question that as far as like on paper talent. Like Trevor Keels is not a top 15 player at his position.
But you have to think about
AJ Griffin hasn't been either. He has his games.
I think
he has his games on both sides.
I think you're looking at it as an overall performance scheme or outlook. Pure talent. When we've seen Trevor Keels at his peak, he's an elite college basketball
in November. We've seen
him drop 27 the other day.
He's done a couple more than that, Ryan.
Slow down.
I know.
AJ Griffin. We've seen him. AJ Griffin as his peak is a projected top 5 pick. We know what Paolo does at his peak. Mark Williams. We see Mark Williams at his peak. Then you had a guy like Jeremy Roach, and then Wendell Moore. When Wendell Moore in the beginning of the season, he was dropping.
We've seen Hunter Couture at his peak.
Yeah, we've seen Hunter Couture at his peak. But I think talent-wise, if you individually, that we are more talented than usually every team.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I just feel like even myself has been hanging on to that tiny little thread for so long that like it's been keeping me optimistic, and it just for the last week, it's just that's been thrown away in my opinion. Like, we're super talented, man, but that's only getting us so far, and right now that's 2 blowout losses to teams we shouldn't be getting blown out by.
But like to counter that point, Ryan, like think about that Kentucky team that was like an 8 seed. Was it a few years ago, where they just like sucked in the regular season? They just did, and then because they had the sheer talent advantage that they did, they ended up going on a pretty deep run. I don't remember how far they went, but they went really far. And I think that that's the beauty of having a talent advantage is. Yeah, you can lose in very embarrassing fashion. There's no question that that's true. But like you also have such a higher upside than most of like Hunter Couture is not going to take you to the Final Four. He's just not, you know. Like,
let me ask you guys this. I think I know Russ's answer because we talked about it a little while back. But would you prefer then now, since we're in that situation, would you guys prefer to be the 2 seed in the West or the 3 seed in a preferred region?
I don't have any preference.
I knew Russ was going to say 2 based on numbers and everything, but
yeah, just your numbers are historically, but this team is not a team that I think matches up with a historical outlook. But like me, at this point, I don't care. Just put them in a bracket and let's see, because like we could be the 2 seed and play like tonight and play the past few days and we're in trouble. So like
2 seeds can lose in the first round. There's no question. But 2 seeds are also twice as likely historically to make it to the Final Four than a 3 seed. Like, it doesn't matter where they are or like any of that shit. Just your draw, your worst possible draw is 15 seed, 7 seed, 3 seed, 1 seed. Whereas if you are a 3 seed, your worst draw is 14 seed, 6 seed, 2 seed, 1 seed. You just have such a harder draw for 3 consecutive games that you are way more likely to shit the bed in one of those games. You just are. Like,
one other question, and I saw somebody in the Twitter comments at _T Little said start Roach again. Is that on the table in your guys' mind?
Are changes on the table? I'd love.
Yeah, someone did ask that. Someone did ask that. Do you guys think there'll be a lineup? Does there need to be a lineup change? I don't know. I don't know. It's March. It's March. There should be no lineup changes in March,
The
man.
starting lineup makes no difference to me. It's what happens in the middle of the game that makes a difference to me. Like I don't care who starts. Like there are teams where their starting guy plays like 15 minutes. Like I don't really care about who starts. I care about what happens when we get punched in the mouth. Is our coaching staff going to adjust and throw something different at our opposition? That's what I care about.
Yeah, I'm just seeing, going back a little, just Keels' production in comparison. It's not even like production, just as impact. Like I'd love to know like what stats you can see as far as impact goes if you compare Roach to Keels. And I also don't feel like they play that much together. I could be wrong there, but I feel like
It's
it's
funny
one of,
you ask that, Ryan.
Oh, he got
Let's
his
hear it.
stats.
No, I was tweeting about this earlier today. Like our top, now this does not include today, obviously, but of our top 5 lineups that we have, I mean, like 4 of them contain Keels and 4 of them contain Roach. I mean, like it's like clearly we are just like good across the board in general. There's not like a giant differential. The biggest differences, frankly, are when AJ Griffin is on the court, our offense is generally far better, and also generally our defense is not as good.
Yeah,
Like,
which makes sense. And I'm not suggesting. And mine was more so the question. I don't think you'd make a lineup change right now. I think you keep it as is. And if you want to sway the minutes towards Roach, towards the mid game, and then that final 4-minute lineup for sure. But I don't think there's a messing with their heads right now. Probably isn't the right thing to do.
Messing with their heads isn't good.
I will say we got to be better. It doesn't matter what lineup we have, but again, it's on Coach K. You got to be better. You got to be ready to adjust. We got to be in a position where you are ready to bench Mark Williams if we cannot play Mark Williams. You do not have to force Mark Williams to play the game.
We said it to open. Mark Williams, only reason he was taken out was because he had 4 fouls. And I almost tweeted as a joke, like, I think Mark Williams knew that he shouldn't be out there, and he purposely grabbed Alou or whoever he grabbed there. I was like, that was a terrible foul, and it was just like, it's almost like he knew he needed to be out of the game.
There was a tweet.
He was frustrated, for sure.
There was a tweet I was going to tweet before Mark Williams checked back into the game. I literally had it written out. I was like, Coach K, we need to stick with this lineup the rest of the game, and the only emergency sub will be, I honestly was going to say Jalen Blakes over Joey Baker because he can somewhat defend on the perimeter. I was ready to go with that lineup the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And here comes Mark Williams.
By the way, now I'm seeing the numbers. This was our second worst defensive performance of the year, behind the UNC game, obviously, but not by much, by just a little. Duke did score over a point per possession today, Ryan. To the point earlier, I mean, like it was just a very low possession game. So, like in theory, in a game where it's this low of possessions, like scoring just a little over a point per possession should win us the game most of the time. Like it just not when you're allowing almost a point and a quarter per possession to the other team. I mean, like that's, and again, when one of them looks like, the captain of the mathletes. So like, I don't know how to.
This is a good question. Is this team better than 1920?
No. Not right now.
That we're talking like carry
higher
right?
Higher ceiling, yes.
Oh yeah, 100% higher ceiling. But at this point, in 1920, this team was starting to peak.
Oh yeah,
especially when they figured out that Justin Robinson is a very valuable piece to the roster. They were starting to figure things out, and we had more defined roles. We had a leader in Trey Jones. We had a go-to scorer in Vernon Carey. We just had the perfect team that knew their roles. Like
there's an identity to the team.
Yeah. And Trey had been to the Elite Eight before too. Like he had more experience than this whole team combined, and he was our captain. And also he had been through, frankly, the incredible embarrassment of the season before, right? Where in the tournament they just let him shoot and he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. And like that was a huge motivating factor for him going into the next season. I felt very good, even as an analytics guy, that in 2020 we were a top 5 title contender at bare minimum, and I think maybe closer to like top 4, top 3, regardless of what seed line we would have been that year, because we had the really bad loss to Stephen F. Austin and some of those other things. But this year, even though I do still think we're probably a top 5, top 6 team to win the title just because of our ceiling, we are also way more likely to lose in the first weekend than any of those teams. Like,
true, yeah, but that team right now in the team this year in November was way better than that team in November. But I also think if you take November this team and March 1920 team, I think those are more comparable than they are right now.
Yeah.
And I will say I'm so sick of our teams peaking in November and December, man. I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I don't even think. Well, this is not going to be a popular take, I feel like, but like I know we had the 2 big wins, but like also we let Campbell get real close to us at home. Like we lost to an Ohio State team that is now completely floundering because Zeb Key of all people like stunted all over us. It's not like we were some great team in November either. We just in the 2 biggest games played very, very well. We played, not even completely to our ceiling, but we played closer to it. But we had plenty of games at the beginning with a very weak strength of schedule where we just did not do very well.
But we can't name a stretch besides these last 6 leading up to UNC where we played better than those couple games in that stretch, and that's kind of sad to say.
These 6 are our worst games of the season, probably. Yeah. So I think that's a very safe. By the way, I want to talk about this, Zion, the Regina comment. I've seen the guy in my Twitter feed who was talking about we should have benched Paolo. Bro,
someone was telling me Paolo was giving Paolo Cam Reddish excuses. Like I don't even know what that meant, but like,
Paolo was 8 for 11 with 20 points. He was our whole offense. What do you want from him?
Had a good name. Now Paolo on defense did not have a good game. Paolo on offense,
nobody did though.
Awful.
Yeah, but nobody did. To Ryan's point, nobody did. Like I think there's so much of a culture on Twitter of people wanting to blame the players individually for any and I mean, we've seen that all the way going back to like RJ and like some of those other, we've seen that going back, right? Like people want to say, oh, this player is selfish. This player has a bad attitude. This player, whatever. I don't put anything on the players at all, dude. Like Paolo's 18, 19. Dude, if he screws up, the coach can easily say in a timeout, hey, if you don't close out, there will be consequences. And if there aren't, I don't really blame Paolo for that. You know what I mean?
I do agree to a extent.
Feeling that way?
No, I agree to a extent. I think definitely Paolo, there was a lot of effort issues, whether it was watching defense, rebounds, or watching people shoot, the lazy closeouts. Those kind of been annoying, and I've seen them all weekend. But like I said, he carried the offense. There was no subbing out Paolo. There's no subbing out Paolo. The only chance we have at keeping up with them offensively, even if we weren't getting stops. But nah,
I want to know what lineup people think will play if we bench Paolo. I want to know the
who's
lineup.
Going to score?
Joey Baker.
Yeah, is it going to be Baker, Griffin, Williams?
Yeah, we're going to play Theo next to Mark. Yeah.
Is that the lineup? Because our top 5 lineups by a lot all have Paolo. And that's not a coincidence. He does things on defense that make you want to grab the jersey and shake him a little bit, but he's doing so much on offense. That's how so many teams operate. They have the star who's not very good on defense, who is very, very good on offense. And then the other guys pick up the slack on defense. Johnny Davis for Wisconsin is certainly an example of this. Drew Timme for Gonzaga is a great example of this. There are so many teams, even on the college level and certainly the NBA level, where if you're just not that good on defense, but you're great on offense, great. The team can carry your load. You don't need to be the guy on both sides of the court. You just don't. It's so rare that players are that guy. So the people who think that because he doesn't close out that he needs to take an extended seat on the bench are in a fantasy land.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is funny. Were they not recovering from a stomach bug? Listen, I don't want to hear all that, man. AJ was recovering from a stomach bug and he had 21 yesterday. Man.
Yeah.
He played great yesterday. Great today. Like
Whatever helps us sleep, though, man. I'll go with it.
I'm not going with no stomach bug. I'm not going with no practice. None of that. This was a bad performance tonight, especially because Virginia Tech was playing 4 games, their 4th game in 4 days.
Yep.
the second team to do that now after us.
And I'm pretty sure, did they play an overtime? They might have played an overtime game, or they won on a buzzer beater.
They won on the buzzer beater.
They played an overtime game in the first game. Yes.
Okay, absolutely. That was overtime. Yeah.
They played an overtime game against Clemson. Barely beat Clemson. The Notre Dame game was close. They beat the brakes off UNC, and then they beat the brakes off us even worse. So, like, who knows? Sometimes you get hot, but like. You just can't let the IT guy go for 31. Like you can't. You
cut him in half. Like not half. Even if he scores 15 tonight, that's a really good game for Hunter Couture. Like if you just cut his scoring in half, and still he has a big night, we're in that game, and that's just Duke not adjusting and putting a guy out on him and just letting him go after Mark all night.
Hunter Couture has topped 20 points in a game twice in his career. I guess now this is the 3rd time that he's ever topped. And again, in the tournament to date, I'm sure you saw this on the broadcast, he had scored 18 points in the tournament combined until today on, what is this? 6, 9, 12, 15, 17, on 6 of 17 shooting in the 3 previous games combined. And then today he busts out 11 for 16. Like sometimes that shit'll just happen and like you just throw your hands up, but like that's not all 15 points. We could have done better than that.
Yeah, like oh my goodness.
For tomorrow, we need to be cheering for Texas A&M and Iowa. If they can take care of Purdue.
Henry Coleman.
Tennessee.
Henry Coleman is balling.
Can we address that? Can we address that quickly?
I forgot about that.
Because
Henry Coleman out there tonight at the 5 or even the 4 would have done better than what we had going on out there. You can't 100%. Tell me. Yeah.
100%.
And
Ryan, I'm going to counter that, and I'm going to say maybe not, but if we were making adjustments by Buzz Williams,
sure. Okay. Yeah.
Because Buzz Williams actually plays a Duke style, a typical what we've been playing before we started adopting these 2 big lineups, small basketball. He puts out
Buzz shifts, man. Buzz will go with the flow. Buzz is one of the great coaches in college basketball. When he left, like Mike Young is also great, but when Buzz Williams left Virginia Tech, I was kind of like, thank the Lord, because Buzz Williams, like his ceiling when he's got a really good program with a lot of resources is real high.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised that Henry's doing well. Henry also just feels like an SEC kind of dude in terms of how he plays, just like physical, tough, grimy, like just that just feels like some like SEC post player kind of stuff, maybe more than like what Duke has had. But I love those sorts of players. I wish we had those players.
Yeah. No, I don't wish we had Henry Coleman. I think he's just better at Texas A&M. He would have fit much better at Texas A&M. He doesn't get that same opportunity here. Just realistically, like people got to realize too, when we have these players, they transfer for a reason. They're not going to play. Coach K has shrunk his rotation to a 6-man rotation with occasionally Theo John. At this point in the season, Joey Baker is completely out of the occasion. Joey Baker is probably going to transfer at this point because the end of this second half of the season, he's become a walk-on. Essentially, he's become Bates Jones Part 2. So like,
Joey's leash is like 50 Shades of Gray level short. You know what I mean? Like Joey, when he takes one bad shot, like he looks over at the bench.
It's been that way his whole career, and I'm not like defending him, but it's been.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair. To be clear, I
don't think so either.
He should have more leash, but at this point, when he messes up, so it's no wonder he's playing tight out there. Like he knows the second he screws up, he's gone for the rest of the day. Like
I don't think him returning anything's going to change with that because a lot of the guys coming in are going to get that same treatment of getting most of the minutes. But yeah, I think Duke with these guys transferring, you just got to be real. Like They weren't going to play. They had to dip. So, I'm happy for him.
We can leave it at that.
Yeah, I just don't mind people being mad about it because so often in the past, the guys who left were guys that like didn't end up like being too much anything anyway. Like sometimes guys would be like Jamal Boykin was like a guy for a team that was not that bad and like stuff like that. But
it took Alex O'Connell year 5 to start contributing,
And he's been really good in the Big East tournament. He was really good.
You should. He's about 23, 24. So you should be doing that. But
yeah,
I think if we played him in the second round, he could go Hunter Couture on us for all I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I didn't even think about playing them. That'd be funny. I think my biggest thing with Henry, and I don't want to go down this tangent, but I think the two things with Henry is if we get Henry, I don't think we get Theo John. So he's getting his minutes and then a little bit more than that. And the other thing is I think Henry, just from an all around program building standpoint, is Henry's that, like, we all know he was a leader. He was a vocal leader last year and he hardly saw the floor. And so you bring him in this year and he's not going to get 28 minutes a game like he is at A&M, but like, and even next year's squad would benefit from having Henry as far as the versatility goes with the 4, where we're going to be lacking, especially with experience. So, like, just as a program impact, I think losing
next year's team is not going to give Henry a chance to play either, bro. We got two bigs coming in. Two top 5 bigs.
Yes. I'm not saying he's ever going to get 28 minutes a game like he is at Texas A&M. That's for sure. I get that. But I'm just saying as a program as a whole, Henry's the kind of guy you want on your bench, in your locker room, on the floor when he can, playing 15 to 17 minutes a night. Like, that's where I was saying it's just damn shame that we didn't get to have him for a couple more years at least. And
he was so great off the court. I mean, like everything with the Black Lives Matter movement that he was working really hard, like with the community. Like, it was just so clear that he was going to ingratiate himself, like with the school, with the community, with all of this, that like, if we like, that's one of the things that I'm excited about in theory about the Shire regime is like, if he plays guys, like if you just play a freshman 8 to 10 minutes a game, maybe they stay. Like,
we need 9-man rotations, man. Like, come on, like, adjust. Like,
we need a firm 8 with 9, with the 9th guy getting like 6.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
And then coming in the next year, like you build it. Yeah.
Like years before, we've been saying like, oh, it's been like 7-man. And
the year we won in 2015, it was always 8 is enough. 8 is enough. And now it's like 8. We play 6.
Even then, it was 8. But it was really 7. Like Marshall was like on and off, occasional use. Yeah. But like it's usually like 6-7 guys. Like, we need to get to a point where we're playing like Leonard Hamilton's great at it. He's going 9-8 deep every year.
And they make good runs in the tournament for the most part.
For the most part. So
I mean, like even that year in the Sweet 16 in 2015 and the Elite 8, we played 6 guys. Like,
and we always come into the season saying we have some depth this year.
Every year.
We have some
I'd love to see John actually play guys. I would love it.
Yeah.
But I will say, for the record, this team, who do you want Joey to play 10 minutes a night? Do you want Bates Jones to play 10 minutes a night? Do you want Jalen Blake to like? But this year is ultra thin.
If we played them more earlier and figured out like more than maybe, and also if
I'd argue we did though. I'd argue that Joey Baker got 10 minutes a game to start the year. Bates Jones even saw for a stretch. He saw 5 to 10 minutes a night.
It'd also require like having like schemes that we use.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I agree.
Like, it's not really Joey's fault.
I'm definitely not like
transfer. He's gonna ball out somewhere. There's a 0% chance he doesn't score 15 plus points a game for where.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I'm not advocating that we should be playing these guys. It's just like it's not like our bench is sitting there with. It's not like we have Jamin Brakefield and Henry Coleman on the bench that are just warming it up the whole season. These are guys who won't be playmakers anywhere else either. So
yeah, I think we just gotta extend our development a little bit more, and it helps for the future. But yeah, someone asked if we have a show tomorrow. We do have a show tomorrow.
I'm pumped for that one. Selection Sunday.
I'm not pumped for it. Huh?
What time is that?
Selection shows at 6 Eastern time. So I would say we would just go live right after that. Once we get the bracket.
Duke announcement. We could
Yeah,
just
I
go
mean,
right after the Duke announcement.
it's within minutes. I just want to make sure. Yeah, once our region is set, I just want to be able to talk about who's in our.
Let's see the whole. I kind of want to wait until the whole bracket is out, because then I think invariably, even though we shouldn't be looking ahead, people would ask about like, well, who's on our side for Final Four and whatever.
Yeah,
So I don't
we'll
care
go
what's
live
on
right.
our
We'll go
side.
live right after.
I agree, Zion, but
if we get to the second weekend, if we get to the second weekend, I'll worry about that. Well, I'm really zeroed in on the
first two matchups,
team,
man.
the first team we play, and then the second team we play. Hopefully, we're playing the second team, because right now I don't know. I do not.
Nobody does,
know.
man.
Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, it's just real. Like, we just got to be real. We do not. It's crazy because 2 weeks ago, maybe we look at the season and probably going into that UNC game, we're thinking we're high. We're thinking, okay, well, we're gonna beat the UNC. We're gonna go in the ACC tournament, and even if we don't win the ACC
chance
tournament,
at a 1 seed.
we'll be right. It's going downhill. It's been bad every single game.
I said on the show 2-3 weeks ago, I was like, we could go out second round, and I got a chorus of no, that's not this team. Like, dude, if we don't defend, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we were riding high, man.
We've been consistent with that all year, though. I think we definitely said earlier in the year that we thought we could be we could lose in the second round. It
hurts.
It's oh man.
Hey, but you know what? Let's just be thankful Duke will be playing in March Madness. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. They are doing COVID tests before it. Let's knock on wood. But Duke, on all likelihood,
tell Savarino to stay away from those parties. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sav, man, stay away from the parties.
Stay away from all parties for the next.
I feel like I shouldn't have just said that.
Oh yeah. That's a little. Oh, what?
No, I'm saying I shouldn't have said that we're going to be playing the tournament because they are doing COVID tests, and I feel like I just threw it out there. That
have they not been doing COVID tests like this week?
I don't think so. I mean,
I low-key don't think so either, because no one has pulled
but the NCAA is requiring it, and they're going to have replacement teams again this year. So like. Let me put it this way. There ain't no shot. The NCAA looks at Coach K and says, you have a positive test. You are out of the tournament for your last year. There's no chance that happens. So I'll go back to Duke's playing the tournament this year. I am pumped. It's been 3 years. I can't wait, man.
I'm not
Sav's going to be like, but Ryan, Pike House is doing Pikes of the Caribbean this weekend.
Oh,
you know.
One thing I will say is we better get past. We better get farther than UNC. We better get farther than UNC. Listen, I'm not trying to get cooked on Twitter, man. UNC is on my head. I haven't even checked my mentions. UNC probably on my head right now. Luckily, my guy Baycott, we're friends now, so you know that's overhyped. If we had lost, if we had lost after that, oh my gosh, I would have got cooked. So
everybody who says, I respect Baycott and I like Baycott now, just hate you. Don't get out of here. It's UNC.
I like him. That's my guy.
Dude, you think anybody? We talk about the biggest rivalry in all of sports, and especially college basketball, and we about Baycott's my boy. You think Kentucky? Anybody over there saying, oh yeah, Louisville, and any of their players, that's my boy over there. But like, I hate Louisville, but that's my boy.
Bro? Like, come on, bro.
No,
like,
any of their fans. You think any of their fans are like, oh man, who's their star right now?
Nobody.
Yeah, they have the one guy who got suspended. Anyways, no one's saying.
I respect. You know, he came at me. I came at him, and he respected it. So you know, I respect him. Lame. I told him. I hope
he respects it for now. But if we lose first weekend, he's gonna send your ass.
He's flaming you, man.
He's gonna send all sorts of gifts your way, dude. Some memes and shit, bro.
Nah.
Get out of here with this. This is my boy.
I'm not cool with the ops. I told him I hope UNC gets smoked by 30 points. I told him that. I know you did. But you know, he's a nice guy. He was,
he's a nice guy. The guy who slid into your DMs. Yeah, okay.
I still cooked him though. I did cook him yesterday. I cooked him.
Yeah, and look where it got us, Zion. Thank you.
I didn't do nothing to that. That's Coach K's fault. Oh, let me not.
Yeah, you didn't show up to the game. You didn't show up at the game today. You publicly berated him, and now we got beat by 15, and they're gonna go with our tails tucked between our legs.
Big Got's gonna be nice in Estonia.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You
can send him some nice Turkish memes next year. You know what I mean?
Oh man. No, I'm not selling out, David. Relax. I'm not selling out. I'm just, being a nice human being. I work in the media for professional You know.
Yeah, that's all you're doing right now.
So I'm just being nice. You know, I have
just
to
in
be
case you need to.
respectful. I went off last night. I was over the edge. I went crazy on Twitter, so I had to
Have
bring
some
it back.
fun, man. Have some fun.
That was a Zion I had never seen before. I scrolled down. I was like, Zion's taking a selfie video calling somebody out. What is going? Like, Zion was feeling some type of way last night.
It had like 13,000 views too, but I deleted it before the game. So you know.
You did.
I did delete it. I did delete it just because you know he had his little you know apology whatever. But I mean, back to Duke. Yeah, I don't have anything else. If y'all got final questions, we'll be back tomorrow. 6-ish Eastern during the Selection Sunday show. Man, what a terrible way to end the season on both sides. UNC and now this. I don't know, man. I can't tell y'all to keep your head up. We just got to see what happens. Flip a coin and see what happens.
And the UAB Louisiana Tech over hit. That ruined my night for real.
Someone got a quick who goes, who stays. Right now, I don't even know at this point. Like, I don't know. I think the obviously locks are Paolo, AJ, Mark is for sure gone. Rule that out. Wendell, I think he leaves. Keels, I'm starting to.
Keels is gone.
He should be, but I wonder because he does fit next year.
He does. That's true. I was trying to figure out that in my head. He does.
So does Dell.
Dell fits too, like a two guard we need right now.
I don't know if Dell fits as much as Keels does. I'm not sure.
Dell's a better passer and shooter right now. So like.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah, I feel like Keels is a better shooter than his numbers show, but he just hasn't shown us all year. So just like it's hard to argue that. Like Jeremy Roach, that's the only guy we need to worry about. He should be back. He should have the keys next year. He needs the keys. I'm tired of playing with no point guards. Just let our point guards develop, man. Just let them develop. Give them the keys, and we will die with Jeremy Roach next year. But yeah, you know, I don't know.
My impulse says that. I wouldn't be surprised if a guy comes back because of NIL and because they hear from the feed. They hear from the feedback that they are not a lock for a guaranteed deal next year. I feel like there's a lot of upside for one or like not both, but like if one of them came back, if either Keels or Moore came back. The upside for them to move into the first round rather than being in that sort of fringe between like 25 and 40 range, which I think is realistically where they probably are right now. Like, I think Dell probably has the better argument because his shooting has been better this year. I think that he probably has a better shot at getting into that high 20s range. But people also like the age of Trevor. Like, I don't know, but I think NIL can be a game changer on some of the stuff like this, where guys who would have just gone pro in the past because I'm done with school, I want to make money, I'm out. They can make a good amount of money. Like if Keels came back, if Keels would not get a guaranteed deal next year, and I think he probably would, just say it. But like if he wasn't sure, dude, he could get insane NIL money next year. Like him and Roach together, like, and the story about how they came up through high school and all that stuff. The narrative is huge. The amount of money there on the table would be huge. Like, forget about it, you know? So I don't know. It depends on how the next couple of weeks go.
Yeah, I definitely think Chai does hit the transfer portal. I think Joey. I changed my narrative on Joey. I think he's going at this point. I think the last couple of weeks have kind of changed that. Yeah. But also, we better play Jaden Shoot next year. That's all I know. We better play that boy next year because that is a certified shooter and scorer, and we need that at Duke again. I'm tired of playing with teams that we do not have that sniper, that 24/7 sniper.
What do people want in the transfer portal anyway? Like I remember people saying this year like how we needed more people from the transfer portal. If guys are good enough to be like Duke's 7th, 8th guy, then they can go to a different school and be the star. Like that's probably why they're transferring in the first place, is to do exactly that.
If we lose Keels and Moore this year, we need a 2-guard, like a starting 2-guard.
Sure.
We need a shooter. Yeah.
But who can shoot it as well? Like preferably somebody who could shoot. And don't even get me started if somehow Roach leaves, but I don't see that happening.
No, I think from what I hear, I think Roach is coming back. I think that's a lot.
But yeah, right now we need a guy who can shoot but play 2-guard as well, because Derek will play the 3, 4, and 5 is going to be Flip and Lively. Unless
so you think Mark Mitchell is coming off the bench?
Who are you going to start him over? You're going to have you're going to play Flip and Lively.
I think Mark Mitchell is a better at a 4, and that's going to be his position in the NBA 4. But like we don't have the luxury because we have two talented, really talented.
Yeah,
unless we don't start Flip. Which
we're going to find out real quick how tricky or how magician like Shire can get next year with that lineup, because having 2 top 2 recruits come in who play both. They both are centers technically listed. You're going to find out real quickly how Shire can manipulate the lineups with those guys to keep them all happy.
We definitely yeah. I think we definitely need to get at the transfer portal just for experience alone. But I mean, Jeremy coming back is going to be a big.
Jeremy coming back would help. If one of Keels or Moore came back, that would help. If there's a wide open roster spot, then I think that offering somebody, hey, you'll definitely get 30 minutes, 28 to 30 minutes a game. Yeah, then they'll definitely come to Duke. But like so often, teams are like Duke fans are like, oh, we need bench depth or whatever. Like
teams don't. Yeah, people don't transfer to schools for them.
80% of the best transfers have no interest in coming to Duke and like getting 15 minutes
unless you're getting people from the mid-major team.
Sure, if it's like an IB guy
school.
He wants a grad degree, sure. Yeah.
If we can I think if we can get Dell or Keels, I think Keels more likely to come back and be a Roach, Keels, Derek, Flip, Lively, with Mitchell being the 6th man, and that's a hell of a lineup. But I'm kind of tired of already talking about next season.
I'm tired. I'm tired of 2 bigs. That's gonna be my spiel to come into next year is the 2 big stuff at Duke. I'm tired of it. But
that's gonna be.
We'll worry about that.
I forget who said that in the chat before, but somebody talking about how like drop coverage is like just a recipe for getting destroyed.
That's gonna be all of next year.
But I kind of wonder. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Lively needs to play drop coverage, to be clear, and I don't think Mitchell. I mean, Flip is going to be the real issue there.
Flip is definitely going to need, but
Flip is the interesting wrinkle for sure. But he's a 6th shooter.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll worry about next year. We got a show tomorrow. Please tap in with us tomorrow night. We'll be here.
That'll be fun.
Tough ACC tournament. Couldn't bring it home, but there's another tournament to play, the real big dance. So we'll see what happens there. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Go Duke.
Shout out to Pick and Devils Den, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Shout out y'all.
Shout out to Hunter Couture, dude. This is your night.
No.
No shout out to Hunter Couture. Nah.
You were shouting out Armando Baycott earlier. Shut up,
pray for Duke Nation. We need prayer, Duke Nation. We are losing our recipes. All right.
We can give it to the guy who works at the Apple Genius.